Mayoral Memo with Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo Regional Council.
All right, let's head on out to a much warmer place, actually, and that's the Dubbo area. Matthew Dickerson, good morning.
I'm not convinced it's much warmer, Kerry. I think you guys are sending us all your cold weather. We're only at 2 degrees at the moment.
Oh, well, yeah, no, you can't help bad luck, son. It's all right. we want to move it along a bit here because we're, as I mentioned, we're heading for a top of 8 degrees. Poor Orange in the middle of us is heading for a top of 5, so pretty good stuff. Hey, listen, I tell you what. Now, a bit of controversy there, Mayor Dickerson. A bit of controversy on the Australia Day date.
There's nothing like a bit of good old-fashioned controversy, is there? The last 2 years, we've actually had the Australia Day ceremony in Dubbo on the morning of the 26th of January and in Wellington as a twilight event on the evening of the 25th of January. And that was received with a mixed reaction from the community. Some people thought it was fantastic, some people didn't like it. And I suppose the point that we made was that the major event that we have in Australia to award people in this country, the Australian Citizen of the Year Award, which normally goes to a former Test cricket captain, but apart from that, that's held as a twilight event when the Prime Minister hands out that on the 25th of January. So we think it's okay to do that. But next year's a bit different, Kerry, because next year Australia Day falls on a Sunday. That means you've got a long weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So when are you going to have it? We've got a recommendation before Council at the moment to have the Wellington event as a twilight event on the Friday night, the 24th of January, and a Dubbo event as a twilight event on the 25th of January. So no final decision's been made yet, but that's the recommendation before Council at the moment.
All right, at the moment, watch this space.
Yes, indeed.
Now, you attended a citizenship ceremony during the week.
I love citizenship ceremonies. 17 new Aussies we have now, 7 different countries, India, South Africa, Nepal, Bangladesh, Kenya, New Zealand and Pakistan. And I love hearing the stories, individual stories about how people found their way to Australia and how people found their way to Dubbo in particular. And they've all got mixed stories, all got mixed reasons, but we welcome them with open arms. And it's such a positive ceremony. In fact, it's my favourite part, apart from talking to you, Kerry, my favourite part of being mayor is getting to do the final step in their citizenship journey because they're just so excited. There's a whole room full of people incredibly happy, incredibly excited, and they just love this country so much. So it's a really uplifting experience.
Yeah, I think even, the general population should try and go along to some of those because it really is an uplifting experience, isn't it?
It is, and I do invite all the public to come along. One of the great things about the ceremony last week was we had a couple of journos from a couple of media outlets come along, and we're starting to see some of those stories in the local paper now. And again, I think it just makes everyone feel good about the community. When you've got people that have travelled from thousands of kilometres away and they're so excited about it, you think, well, maybe what we've got here is not too bad after all.
Now, you're excited because you've got a couple of ministers visiting today. Is that today?
That is today. They're flying in. Actually, I think they've already had some interruptions with their flights with the fog, but they're still flying in. They managed to get on another flight, and they're making some major announcements, or one major announcement, I think, in Wellington related to the renewable energy zone. I can't tell you what it is, though, Kerry, because I don't know what it is. I just know I've got to be in Wellington for a couple of ministers, Penny Sharp and Paul Scully, are coming in to make a major announcement, which is all good news. We've talked about the RES before. Lots of money flowing in, $20 billion that will flow into our community over probably the next 7 years while that build is happening. That'll provide 42% of the power for the state once it's finished. So all very exciting. Our job, we don't get to say yes or no to them. Our job is to try and squeeze as much money out of them as we can along the way, Kerry, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do.
That's the way to go. That's the way to go. Now, listen, just this morning, the Park Run, big celebration there.
They had a big celebration. Lots of cake was eaten on Park Run on Saturday. They do an absolutely fantastic job there. 9th anniversary, 269 people came along to help celebrate, 405 Park Runs. And I did make mention at Park Run on Saturday morning, one of the things that I love about Park Run, they do get good numbers. They average 260. For those 405 park runs, they've averaged 260 people. And you can imagine during this cold weather, it's hard to get good numbers there, but they still do. The average across the world is only 117. So we do very well. And that's 493 park runs around the world. But one of the things that blows me away about our park run here is the volunteering. I've done park runs at 18 different locations, Kerry, and all of them, apart from Dubbo, are always saying, more volunteers. We need volunteers for next week. We need volunteers for today. Can we get some more volunteers? You go to Dubbo Park Run and they say, we're booked out for the next month in advance. If you try and volunteer right now today, you've got a month-long wait and sometimes longer than that. So the volunteering at our park run is absolutely fantastic.
Wonderful stuff. Thank you, sir, again. And good luck with a couple of ministers today.
Thank you. Have a nice warm day indoors.
Thanks, mate. Talk to you later.
Thanks,
Matthew Dickinson there.
Mayoral Memo with Matthew Dickinson from Dubbo Regional Council.